Yo, 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 fancy community, welcome to Proper Things, the FPL show brought to you by the ttfsl. It's your host, Michael, back again with episode 11 for season 2. I know last week you all missed me, but due to technical difficulties, we couldn't get the episode out in time, so please forgive me. But we had a nice international break, all the managers who needed a little cooling off, they could get away from the fantasy, take a week off, relax, chill, just not taking anything at all, and now we back to business. Last game week we saw an explosion there from Saka. Little mistakes led to a lot of points for the English star boy of Arsenal. A haul on blank for the millions that captain him, like myself. Salah also blanking. It was tough sledding for the Mo Salah and Haaland owners, or the Salander teams. So hopefully, off the international break, game week 8 brings a lot more points to owners. So without further ado, let's take a look at how my team, the final boss, did in game week 7. So game week 7 was a small green arrow, just getting us there into that 2.2 million rank. It's not been an opening 7 weeks to remember for myself. But your boy normally gets things going around game week 8, game week 9, and plays them way into the season. So that's how I got all those massive, nice ranks in the last 3 years. So hopefully, fortune repeats itself and I finally find some form now heading into the October and November Christmas season. So looking back at the 53-point game week, we took a hit to bring in a couple players. So it was still tough sledding for Flecken as he still can't get a clean sheet. We went from the pot into the fire now with Henderson now into Flecken. We just can't seem to buy a clean sheet right now. And then Konsa got the injury in the first half, so no clean sheet points and that 0-0 draw with United. So 1 point from the injury to Konsa. Gabriel and Trent both blanked. Well, Trent, with 8 points, Gabriel with 2 points. So we got that big return from Trent. And Bueno continued his hot start with 8 points. Saka, a massive 16. We should have captained him. He was, close to getting the armband. Semenyo blanked in a favorable matchup. 2 points for him. Rogers against United was tough sledding. Just the clean sheet point for a total of 3. Our boy that we thought would bring in the points blanked as well. Foden, a 2-piece. Solanke, an assist for 5. We also bought him in this game week. And then Haaland are blanked as our captain, 4 points in total for the light blue master. Shout out to Jeremy for that moniker for Erling Haaland. Looking at the bench, we could see we missed there. Benching Chris Wood, massive 8 points. Sepp, 1 point, and Makalenko injury means 0 points for the Everton fullback. So what are the plans now to do with this team in the upcoming weeks? Let's take a look. So looking at the team, we could see that the red flags are more due to injury. As Konsa in defense, we don't know what is going on with him and his availability for this upcoming game week. So we'll have to wait until Unai Emery sheds some light. And also, Mikalenko is also on the injury list. We bought him in for Everton's favorable fixtures, but unfortunately, we don't know if he will be available very soon. So the third defender behind Gabriel and Trent looks to be a little problematic. Maybe Sepp will have to step in. But if the Konsa injury will keep him out for multiple weeks, we'll definitely have to find a replacement. And then the big name, the injury for England, is the hamstring going to be right? Is the hamstring tight? Bukayo Saka, of course, coming off hurt in the England game. All reports thus far looks to lead us to believe that Saka will be available for the game versus the Cherries this upcoming game week, but we will definitely have to keep our ears to the streets to see if the star boy is available to play Bournemouth. And now the solutions. First, of course, we mentioned the Konsa and / the Makalenko injuries. We'll be keeping Makalenko, but if Konsa is out, we'll definitely be looking to move him on. But looking at the options available, we all know Arsenal's defense is great, although they don't have great fixtures. Liverpool, we already have Trent Alexander-Arnold, and their fixtures also go to the Gulag. Chelsea, we're not too sure how that defense is going to look against sterner opposition. So the best defender in that price range, I should say, is Alt-Nouri, although he does play Manchester City in game week 8, looking ahead from game week 9 straight down to game week 15. We can see Alt-Nouri. It's all greens and all clear skies. Alt-Nouri is going to be a guy that a lot of managers are going to push in the near future, but maybe we could get in a week early. We know that my boy City are susceptible to goals. Maybe Alt-Nouri finds another attacking return, but in an ideal world, we keep Konsa for one more week and then move to Alt-Nouri. But if the injury is severe, we could move for Alt-Nouri 1 week earlier. Of course, a lot of eyes will also be on Van de Ven from Spurs, who is 4.6 million. I think Spurs already show that they can keep clean sheets. Van de Ven can burst through teams and lay off assists, but I would rather have Alt-Nouri for the running than Van de Ven. But 4.6 million is a great price point. And then it's the hottest asset right now from Leicester, and James Justin is also in this price range, but I'll have him below Van de Ven and, of course, my pick, Alt-Nouri. Again, if you're looking to bring in a defender, there's always the City boys, but those are out of my price range. You can't go wrong with Vardiol. Maybe you could take the punt with Rico Lewis or go for Akanji or Diaz, but those guys are out of my price range. But City and their defense, while they are leaking goals and it's been tough watching for if you are a Rico Lewis owner, the fixtures do suggest that some clean sheets should be on the horizon. Wolves and Southampton in the next 2. And of course, the big one that everyone is tuning in, what to do with Saka. At the current time of recording, all roads lead to Saka being fit to Bournemouth. Everything coming out of the injury seems to be positive, but we'll definitely have to hear what Arteta has to say on Friday, if he has anything to say. The only thing I will say is that Saka is a player that is so important to Arsenal that if he is not available to start this game, I don't think he will be in the squad. So you will either be getting Saka from the beginning, or I think you will be getting the first player off your bench. I don't think Arteta is one to risk Saka if he's not fully there, and if he's fully there, he'll definitely be playing versus the Cherries. So now if you're someone who has that beer 11 and can't afford to have someone not playing vital minutes, especially at his price tag, the number one option, of course, and you're going to hear this from everyone, is going to be Cole Palmer at 10.8 million from Chelsea. The kicker to this is that Palmer plays Chelsea plays Liverpool this upcoming game. While Palmer could return in every game, I don't think a haul will be on versus Liverpool. This is going to be a game, maybe it's high scoring, maybe it's low scoring, but I will back Liverpool's defense to hold Palmer to a modest score. Maybe he gets an assist or 1 goal. Maybe he blanks. I think going forward, though, Palmer is a player you'll definitely want in your team. So if Saka plays versus Bournemouth, I'd rather get that fixture out of Saka versus Palmer versus Liverpool. And then we move to Palmer in game week 9. But if you're one who needs the points and you're looking and you already have the Palmer money, you could definitely move Saka straight to Palmer. The guy that I will be eyeing, though, is someone who has an injury asterisk next to them, and that is Heung-min Son, now at 9.8. He got a price drop last night. We'll definitely have to hear what Postecoglou has to say on the South Korean, but if he's fit and available, because we all know hamstrings is tricky, West Ham is there for the taking. And I think Son is the type of player to exploit that backline that West Ham has. Now, on the flip side of the argument, if you want to play it safe and go with someone who is more, well, locked in to start for Spurs, Maddison and Johnson are there, but I would definitely prefer to have Heung-min Son, especially against West Ham. So, to recap, if Konsa is out, you'll definitely be moving him on to Alt-Nouri, Van de Ven, and Justin are viable options in that price bracket. And if Saka can't go, while we would like Palmer, he will be out of our price range. So Son would be the best player if he's available. But if for my team, if Saka is unavailable, I will be looking for the first player on the bench and probably bank the transfer. And now some further observations for those who have ulterior teams. The first is the jump theory, which is basically if you have a lot of Arsenal assets, you could suck up the Bournemouth fixture this upcoming game week and then move them into City assets and then get Southampton and Bournemouth. So basically you'll get Bournemouth, Southampton, Bournemouth. So if you have someone like Saka, maybe you can move him into Foden or maybe KDB if he returns. If you have Trossard or Martinelli, you could go with one of the off-brand midfielders because we're definitely going to be a lot of points from one of those not so fancied fantasy midfielders from City, whether it be Savinho, whether it be even Doku, Bernardo Silva, Grealish. One of those midfielders is going to come away with points. We already see Kovacic with the burst last game week with 2 goals. Massive return from Kovacic. So the jump theory basically is you move Arsenal assets into City assets. Even the defenders could probably move one of Gabriel or Saliba into Vardiol and get Bournemouth, Southampton, Bournemouth. So that's something to think about. Secondly is that for United attacking assets, whether it be Bruno, one of the strikers, Rasmus, Zirkzee, Garnacho, or if you're one of those owners who still has Marcus Rashford, United on the whole is struggling for goals. It's been tough sledding. They're not putting the ball in the back of the net, so I cannot recommend any United assets. Maybe their form turns this side of the international break, but definitely right now it's going to be tough sledding when it comes to recommending any Manchester United assets. Third is that we are seeing now that Liverpool's fixtures are going now into the gulag, as we say, as the next 3 on paper is not so nice. But this is something that I will say, while fixtures 8, 9, 10 is not so nice, we are seeing that Liverpool is going to have a little pocket of fixtures where they play Brighton, Southampton, and then it goes back into the gulag. If you have Liverpool assets, it will be ideal to move them on to other assets that have better fixtures. But just remember, Liverpool will score goals. So it's not like you have to take a -4 or -8 to move all your Liverpool assets if you are heavily invested in the Reds. Just remember that Liverpool are a team that are going to score goals. They may even pop up with a clean sheet in one of the tougher fixtures because they are a really good defense so far this season. And then you're going to want some Liverpool assets when they play Brighton and, of course, Southampton. So just something to keep abreast of. And finally, it's wheels up versus West Ham in the Ghana game with Spurs. But the one thing about Spurs is that they have a tendency to let people down. Remember last season in the shortened game week versus Fulham, a lot of people just flooded their free hit teams with 3 Spurs assets, and it was blank, and yes, you guessed it, blank. So 3 blanks if you had 3 Spurs assets. So while there's a little reticence to back Spurs assets, they do have the fixture, they do have some sort of form heading into the game, but I will put a little grain of salt when going fully on the Lily Whites of London. And finally, I know a lot of people have a little dilemma on who to put the armband on, but have no fear, Captaincy Corner is here. And this game week is a game week that a lot of people are just going to just put the armband on Haaland, forget to move it next game week, and put it on Haaland again versus Southampton. So Wolves Southampton are 2 games that a lot of managers, millions of managers, have just earmarked as the Haaland weeks. They're not going to do anything fancy. They're just going to set and forget on the light blue master. So alternatively now to the number 1 pick in Haaland, I don't think there's any argument. I know 2 blanks in a row. Will it be 3? Will it be 4? Will you going to tempt fate? I don't know. But Haaland versus Wolves, Haaland versus Southampton in the next 2. If you have him, you captain him, $15.4 million for that asset. In second position would have been the star boy Bukayo Saka, but with the injury and the availability right now in question, I'm going to just edge my bet here and put Saka/Kai. Now, if you own both, I'll definitely captain Saka over Kai, but I think Kai is equally as good as a captaincy option if you're looking to go against the light blue master. So Saka/Kai, number 2 captaincy option this game. Number 3 is another asterisk. We're going to have to wait till Friday. I know it's 2 weeks since we've seen any Premier League action, so we don't know the status of Heung-min Son against West Ham. Do I really like this asset? I think he could prove to be someone that cops a lot of points if he starts, and he's not going to be an asset owned by a lot of managers. So if you're looking to go against Haaland, Saka/Kai, number 3, Heung-min Son. In fourth position, well, Mo Salah versus Chelsea. I have to put the Egyptian king somewhere on the list. Not really a fancied option this upcoming game week, but I think he just edges out Palmer for me. I do think this game is going to be either a blowout or Chelsea could nip it. We don't know. I personally don't know which Chelsea is going to pop up for this game because we've seen a kind of Jekyll and Hyde kind of performance from the Blues thus far, but we're going to get the answers at the end of the Liverpool game. So definitely keeping an eye on Chelsea to see how they go. So Salah narrowly edges it at 4. And the cheeky ball captaincy pick this week, we like to give a big differential for a lot of managers looking to go against the green. This week's cheeky ball pick is a guy who I have in my team, so I hope lightning strikes here. We've been absolutely knocking the cheeky balls out of the park recently. And it's Phil Foden versus Wolves. The Manchester City asset returned to the starting lineup after a performance in Europe, where he scored and assisted man of the match performance. Unfortunately, he blanked in game week 7, but I think he rolls the dice in game week 8. He returns when he continues to play well, gets the start, and he returns versus Wolves. So he is the cheeky ball pick. One guy that is off the list is Dominic Solanke. While I do prefer Son to him, if you have Dominic Solanke, he's also a viable captaincy option. And Bueno does play United, but I don't think he's better than the assets mentioned above. So that concludes Captaincy Corner for Game Week 8. Best of luck to all managers, and all wheels up for the Light Blue Master in Game Week 8 and 9. And that ends episode 10 of season 2 for Proper Things. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. It's been a little while since I've done one of these. We missed last game week again, and my apologies due to technical difficulties. But we're back in game week 8. This is the time of the season that your boy hits red hot form. So hopefully, lightning strikes again. We